Hi, I'm Bruce Jugan from Benefits Cafe. What I'd like to do is tell you what it takes to qualify as a small business for medical insurance in California. A lot of what I'm going to say is included in a PDF on our website called The Rules for California Small Business Medical Insurance. So we encourage you to check that out because a lot of what I'm saying here you'll see in writing. It makes it a lot easier to understand. The criteria is that you have to have at least one employee, but not more than 100 employees in California. Every other state, it's 50 employees. California, it's 100 employees. Then you're eligible for small group medical insurance. They must be W-2 employees, which means that you're withholding payroll taxes from their paychecks. They cannot be 1099 or independent contractors who are people who may work for you or for different employers, but there's not that employer-employee relationship that is established by a W-2 employee. So they have to be W-2 employees. And you have to have at least one non-owner W-2 employee. That means that husband and wives who are working in the business won't qualify as a small business, even if they have it set up as a corporation, unless there's some variations, but it's very difficult to get that approved. There are also if you have only partners in a limited liability partnership or limited liability corporation, and there are no W-2 employees, they won't qualify because you have to have at least one non-owner W-2 employee, and that person must work at least 30 hours per week on average. That's the most restrictive you can make it. You can't say, though, for example, you have to work 32 hours in order to qualify for health insurance in our company. California state law forbids that. 30 hours is the most restrictive you can make it. You can make it less restrictive and include part-timers down to 20 hours per week, but you have to apply that same criteria to anybody who's part-time who meets that number of hours worked. The insurance companies determine your eligibility and the number of employees based on the quarterly wage statements, Form DE-9C, with California State EDD, which employers submit every quarter, which shows who the employees were, how much payroll they earned, how many taxes were withheld during the previous quarter. The insurance companies use that as a roster of who's who as eligible employees. If they're not on that, W-2 employee or 1099 employee won't be on that, then they're not eligible for the plan. If they work just a few hours and they're not having they can't verify that they have sufficient number of hours, they also wouldn't be eligible. And the other component of that is the company must have active status with the Secretary of State on the website. I mentioned that rules PDF on, I think, page 6 or 7. There's a hyperlink to the Secretary of State's website, and you can check to see if your company has active status. It just means you're current with all the tax filings and all those sorts of things and keeping your ownership documents in order with Secretary of State's office. If you have all of these things in place, you have to have had at least one non-owner W-2 employee for 50% of the preceding calendar year or the preceding quarter. So that is to get it on a guaranteed basis, but you can also, there's some leeway, especially for startup businesses, which companies that don't have that history of payroll can still establish medical insurance plans for their employees, even though they haven't had the employees for a couple of months or a previous year. It depends on the insurance company as to what their criteria are. Some insurance companies will allow you to start a plan the first of the month without having any payroll and start at the day the plan is effective. And then after 4 weeks, you submit evidence that you had the payroll, and then you would be eligible to continue with that coverage. Others want 2 weeks of payroll before they start the plan. Others 4 weeks of payroll. It just depends on the insurance company. We can help you out with all of that. Just want to give you a brief overview of some of the requirements to become eligible for group medical insurance in California. Give us a call. Thanks.